The new series on Netflix, The Witcher, is being said to be the next Game of Thrones. In this video, I'm going to be telling you why it is being said to be the next GOT. So the three characters in the heart of The Witcher are Geralt of Rivia, Yennefer, who is a sorceress, and Ciri, who is a princess. This character of Geralt of Rivia has been played by none other than Henry Cavill, who is your Superman in the DC comic world. And he was apparently quite excited about this role, and his love for the role clearly shows in the way in which he has played this character. He mentioned in one of his interviews to Jimmy Kimmel that he had read the books based on which this series is made. He had even played the games which were based on the books. And when he knew that a series is being planned on the books, he couldn't be more excited to play the part. And I must say that when you look at Henry Cavill playing Geralt of Rivia, you have to say that he was the perfect casting for it. Although when you watch him play this role, initially the way in which he says his dialogues is going to sound a little awkward, but soon you get to it, and his rough and husky voice, you start to enjoy that. So Geralt of Rivia, like I said, is the protagonist of the show, but another very important character is Yennefer, who is a mage, who is a sorceress, and her transformation from a hunchback deformed girl to a prima donna has been shown very brilliantly in this series. There are two different themes in case of both these characters. In the case of Geralt of Rivia, it is the theme of destiny that we see playing out throughout the show. In the beginning of the story, you have the Geralt of Rivia completely dismissing the role of destiny in people's lives. He says in one of the scenes that destiny makes us feel that there is some order to this horse shit, but there isn't. But in the end of the show, the same character says that two people linked by destiny will definitely come together, will definitely find each other. So while destiny is something that we see in case of Geralt of Rivia, in the case of Yennefer, we see the theme of legacy. So she has to give up her powers of fertility in order to become a sorceress. In one of the scenes, she's told that there is no conjuring something from nothing. So she has to give up something in order to become a sorceress, which is her fertility. And bearing a child was her way of giving a legacy. And throughout the show, she is being shown to be deciding how can she give her legacy to the world. Towards the end, we see that she's being told that her legacy would be saving the continent. She even disappears at the end of the series, and we wonder whether she's dead or whether she is going to come back. But of course, in the books, if you see, Yennefer is a very central character, and it's not likely that the producers of the show are going to get rid of her. She is most likely going to come back. The third most important character is Ciri. Now, in the very first episode, we see how she's abdicated from her kingdom, and she is the one who sparks the story. But somehow a lot of time has not been spent upon Ciri. Maybe in season 2 we'll see that happening. But I just felt that as much light as was shed on Geralt of Rivia and Yennefer, the same could not be done with Ciri. But she remains an important character nevertheless. So after you've watched a couple of episodes, you will realize that, hey, something is disconnected, something is not making sense. And the reason why you would feel that way is because there are two different timelines being followed in the plot. The first timeline is going to deal with the origin story of the Geralt of Rivia and Yennefer, and the second timeline deals with the present time of Geralt. That's why in the very first episode you have the scene of the princess getting abdicated from her kingdom, Princess Ciri, and in the last episode, that is episode 8, you have the same thing being repeated with Geralt of Rivia present around that incident. So it is going to take some time for you to absorb the story. You may even have to watch it again. Some people say that the narrative of this series has been inspired from Dunkirk, but I guess considering the length and the spread of this huge story, which is scattered across 8 different books, I guess that is something which was felt as a requirement for the show. The show is quite epic. Not for nothing is it being called the next Game of Thrones. You've dragons, you've got terrifying creatures, you've got mind-boggling fighting scenes, there are tremendous special effects. Of course, there are times when you'll feel that the dragons shown in this particular series are not exactly as realistic as the dragons that you would see in the Game of Thrones. Or for that matter, the midgets or the monsters that you see. For a moment, it may take you some time to believe in its realism, but I think overall it's an excellent endeavor on part of the producers of the show. And that's one of the reasons why Netflix has become so popular and such a great platform, because it spares no expense in doing justice to the show. What I would like to recommend is that if you're looking to watch an epic, grand show, then this is the show for you. Go ahead and watch The Witcher and let me know in the comments how you found it.